Ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-da.
Hello, Adam Ryan Donato.
Hello, and welcome back to another hard review. I am Adam here to talk about the Super Mario Brothers movie, which is the newest Illumination Entertainment animated film from Universal. There's a new theme park attraction coming out, and everyone's been talking about this movie for the longest time, specifically the voice cast. Chris Pratt caught a lot of flack for being a very obvious and uninspired, miscast part of this movie. He's not even Italian, but neither is Charlie Day, but we really met at Chris Pratt because he's overexposed. We didn't like Jurassic World. He's Garfield too. It's just too much Chris Pratt and he's not cool anymore. You know, we've heard about his personal opinions and it's turned certain groups off and we don't like Chris Pratt anymore, I guess. Except when the third Guardians of the Galaxy movie is on its way. We're all super excited for that. I mean, can't wait for that movie. But Mario, it's really easy to be cynical about that, especially since it's very typical of Illumination to opt for celebrity names over actual talented voice actors. And when it comes to a beloved property like Mario, it's really upsetting to see these iconic characters who have voices that we know to heart being played by Chris Pratt. I'll start off right from the top with Chris Pratt. I think he did fine. It's funny because I saw an interview where he was like, oh, I think you should watch the movie a second time. I could see how someone would watch this the first time and just be looking to nitpick every single Chris Pratt moment. And there are times where I hear Chris Pratt, but there's other times where I just hear this Mario character. And it's clear that he's actually really trying to do something, whether or not it's good. I don't really think it's that great at all. I think he's kind of bad in it still, but I was able to get over the fact that I was just hearing Chris Pratt as Mario, and it works in the context of what they're trying to do here. Charlie Day as Luigi was much better. It definitely fit the mannerisms of his character very well, but he's really not in this movie very much. He's extremely sidelined, because as we see from the trailer, he has been captured by King Koopa Bowser, so we don't get to see too much, but he does have quite the presence throughout the movie, because kind of the emotional through line of the movie is the brotherhood, this friendship between Mario and Luigi. Because we are not here to rescue Princess Peach, because this Princess Peach is a girl boss. She is a badass. She beats up everybody. She mastered the course on her first try. And that's all well and good. I totally understand the concept of like, oh, well, we don't want to put ourselves in a stereotypical box. You know, women are more than just damsels in distresses, and she's actually the strong leader of these toad people. You know, if you want to complain about that, that's really dumb and silly. She's cool, and I really don't see a problem in her being cool and not just the person, the hot girl at the end that we're trying to save, I guess. Anya Taylor-Joy did a fine job. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, there were moments that were annoying, but then there were also moments where I thought were actually really funny, so net positive there, I guess. It's hard to say how much of it really is him because it's so like turned up that you could barely even tell that it's Keegan-Michael Key. For me, definitely the standout in this movie was Jack Black as Bowser. His reasoning behind why he's doing everything that he's doing is so funny. While I don't agree with him, obviously, he's a very cartoonish villain and whatnot. He's just a bully in this movie. He's definitely a bully, but it is funny how like deluded that he is and how simple his actual goals are. But all this stays true to the video game. No big changes are made. Mario and Luigi are still Italian plumbers and brothers. They go through the Mushroom Kingdom with help from Toads, and they fight Donkey Kong, and King Bowser is trying to take over the world with his army of Koopa Troopas and Goombas. One thing that's really easy to pick on Illumination Entertainment about, besides its celebrity voice cast, is the animation being uninspired, and here I feel like we kind of got exactly what we wanted. It's funny because I'm sure that this movie would not be the same movie that it is if it wasn't for the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. They tried to have a more realistic take, and obviously that is a live-action family film compared to a animated video game 3D animated movie, but this one it's like they look almost exactly like they do in the game. I mean, you could see differences, especially in Mario and Luigi and Peach. They pretty much look exactly like they look in the games, and that's great. That's what you want. There's definitely a noticeable effort in making the animation pop more and more diverse settings. Like, we go everywhere in this game. Anywhere that you like in the video games. I'm sure not everywhere, but like most of the iconic landmark settings are there and represented in this movie, and that's really great. Fans of the video game will adore this because there's all these little like tidbits and little characters in the background and whatnot that you're like, oh, I know them from this thing, and it's quite the fun Easter egg for those paying attention out there. I thought it was well animated. There's some sequences that are a lot of fun. There's like a tracking shot with Mario and Donkey Kong fighting that's in the trailer, and it looks really cool, and there's some fun action sequences here. One of the more redeeming parts about the movie is the sense of humor that it has. I found myself laughing throughout and laughing out loud and having a great time. I'm sure this movie is going to play extremely well with a crowd, crowd, whether it be a late night crowd with mostly adults, because adults will enjoy this movie. Despite how simple the story is, this is a quick movie too. It's a 92-minute, you're in, you're out, it's over. It's not Lord of the Rings. It's not dragged out in any way, shape, or form. We're moving fast from one set piece to another. Pretty much everything you see in the trailer is basically what's in the movie, except the last 15 minutes, I guess. So there's no huge surprises here. You're pretty much being given everything you've been promised. If you're someone who doesn't like the commercial, more cynical aspect about this movie, which is where I find myself, like, this is a very cynical experience, you might be won over by the good sense of humor, but it's very easy to be like, wow, this is just a 90-minute long commercial for all the games and for the new theme park and whatnot. The voice actors are such a disrespect to actual voice actors and to these characters that we've known for such a long time, because it's just Charlie Day. It's just Anya Taylor-Joy. She's not doing a performance. It's just her voice. I think Seth Rogen straight up came out and said, like, hey, I'll be Donkey Kong, but I'm going to sound more or less like me. I guess I missed Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. He was fine in this. It's funny when sometimes you just hear the Seth Rogen laugh coming out of Donkey Kong, and that kind of takes you out of it for a second. Really, really funny. There's a star character in the dungeon that is constantly making everyone erupt. I'm sure the kids will laugh really hard when Mario is failing and getting beat up at times, but for the older audiences, there's definitely some humor in this that really, really pops. And like I said, everything with Bowser really, really, really worked. And that is the best stuff in the movie. It's brisk, it's fun, it's family friendly. I think everyone's going to enjoy this. It's going to make $1 billion, I guarantee it. It's going to be maybe the highest grossing movie domestically this year. I would not be surprised. The only things I could see being big contenders is another Chris Pratt movie, Guardians of the Galaxy, or maybe even Spider-Verse. But no, this is such a crowd pleaser. Everyone's really going to enjoy this. It's going to be out in theaters for months. It's going to play twice as much as any other movie because it's only 92 minutes and you can have it be in more theater houses. Families enjoy, and even if you don't have a family, if you are just a fan of Mario, you will enjoy this movie. It's very easy to like, and like I said, even if you are cynical about this movie or this concept, this iteration of the character, this movie does a really good job with its sense of humor and simplicity of trying to win you over. I'm gonna go ahead and give this movie a 4 out of 5. I think it's closer to a 3 than it is a 5. I wouldn't be surprised if someone was like, this is a perfect adaptation of Mario. This is exactly what I wanted from this type of a movie, and it's a 5 out of 5 for me, because that's kind of how I felt about Cocaine Bear. I'm like, oh, this is the best version of this thing that it could possibly be, but that's a concept that I really loved, whereas this is the Illumination adaptation of a Mario movie, and I think that kind of has a ceiling for me on how much I can really love it. I don't think it's the best Illumination entertainment movie. I would actually probably go with the first Despicable Me over this, because I felt emotionally attached to Gru and the little girls, and I really felt for that relationship. Whereas here, I know that the main emotional through line is the brotherhood between Mario and Luigi, but like, it's cute, and the whole movie's about, like, standing up to bullies and, like, follow your dreams, and you're better than the world thinks that you are, and you just gotta stand up for yourself and stand up for the little guy, and it's all well and good. 4 out of 5 movie, definitely better than we thought it was going to be. People are going to talk about this movie endlessly and forever. How did you feel about this movie? It's definitely better than the Super Mario Brothers movie from the 90s, even though I do respect the casting of Bob Hoskins as Mario in that movie. And it's just such an ambitious movie. It's really weird. There's a lot of practical sets, and this world is so weird. There's an animatronic Yoshi in the movie. Obviously, this is much better. I'd probably put this on par with something like the Sonic the Hedgehog movies, but I think I like the Sonic movie better because I feel like the casting and performance of Jim Carrey was just that much better than Bowser. It made it such a fun movie for me. But yeah, this is very good. Like I said, you're gonna love it. You're gonna have a great time. You're gonna laugh your butt off, and you're gonna want to play the video game right when you're done. 4 to 5. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and tell me what your favorite Mario game is. I think Mario Kart Wii, one of my top ones. I know Mario Party on the DS was one that I specifically enjoyed more on the DS than on the Wii. I was a big Mario Super Sluggers fan. Not much of a video game guy.